Last night, your brain may have fooled you completely. You may have walked through places that don't exist, spoken to people who were never there, or experienced things that would be impossible in the real world. And yet, while it was happening, it all felt perfectly normal. You didn't question it. You didn't stop and think. You simply accepted it as reality. So why does your brain treat dreams as real experiences? And what is happening inside your mind while you dream? The answer is stranger than most people realize. Imagine this: tonight you fall asleep, a few hours pass, and suddenly you find yourself standing in a place you've never seen before. Maybe it's a city, maybe it's a forest, maybe it's somewhere that doesn't even exist, yet nothing feels unusual. You simply accept it. Then something impossible happens. You start flying, or talking to someone who has been gone for years, or walking through a wall as if it were completely normal, and somehow you still don't question it. This is one of the biggest mysteries of dreaming. When you're awake, your brain constantly checks reality. It asks questions, it looks for mistakes. It searches for things that don't make sense, but during a dream that system becomes much quieter. And because of that, even the strangest events can feel perfectly reasonable. That's why dreams can seem so convincing. Your brain isn't trying to challenge the experience. It's simply living it. Now here's where things get even stranger. While you're dreaming, part of your brain becomes extremely active, but another important part becomes much quieter. The part responsible for logic, the part that asks questions, the part that notices when something doesn't make sense. And that's a big problem. Because without that internal critic, almost anything can feel normal. You could be flying through the sky, breathing underwater, or having a conversation with someone you've never met, and your brain simply accepts it. No questions asked. That's why dreams can become so bizarre. Not because your brain stops working, but because the part that usually checks reality is taking a break. And for a few hours, your imagination is free to run wild. But dreams don't just feel real, they feel emotional. Sometimes more emotional than real life itself. A dream can make you feel fear, joy, love, sadness, or anxiety, all within a few minutes. And when you wake up, those feelings often stay with you. That's because the emotional centers of your brain remain highly active during dreaming. In other words, your brain isn't just creating images, it's creating feelings, real feelings. That's why a dream can make your heart race, why a nightmare can leave you shaken, or why a beautiful dream can stay in your memory for years. Your body knows the dream isn't real, but your emotions respond as if it is. And perhaps that's the strangest part of all. Every single night your brain performs a trick that would seem impossible if you experienced it while awake. It creates an entire reality, not just a picture, not just a memory, an entire reality. A world with places, people, sounds, stories, and somehow it makes you believe that world is real. Think about that for a moment. Right now, you know you're watching a video, you know where you are, you know what's real, but during a dream that certainty disappears. Your brain becomes both the creator and the audience. It writes the story, builds the world, creates the characters, and then convinces you to live inside it. That's why dreams can feel so powerful, because while you're dreaming, you aren't observing the experience. You're living it. For those few hours, the dream becomes your reality. And that's an ability we still don't fully understand. Even after centuries of study, dreams remain one of the greatest mysteries of the human mind. Scientists understand some of the processes involved, but many questions remain unanswered. Why do certain dreams stay with us forever? Why do some dreams feel more real than memories? And why does the brain spend so much energy creating these strange experiences night after night? The truth is, we still don't know all the answers. And maybe that's what makes dreaming so fascinating. Every night, without even realizing it, you step into a world created entirely by your own mind. A world that can make you laugh, scare you, inspire you, or leave you wondering long after you've woken up. So tonight, when you close your eyes, pay attention. Because somewhere between sleep and reality, your brain will begin building another world, another story, another experience that feels completely real. And when it does, you might remember that the most powerful virtual reality machine ever created has been inside your head all along. Good night.